here's what. You slip me a bottle of bourbon, a little glass, and some ice.
Pick your poison, ladies and gents. Welcome to WatchMojo's Top 5 Myths, the series that finds the biggest myths that people actually believe and dispels them one by one.
Maybe a drink will help. Put some alcohol in your mouth to block the words from coming out.
In today's installment, we'll be looking at the top 5 myths about alcohol. Spirits, wine, and beer myths are all up for grabs today, so long as they're widely believed or at least heard of.
I wish it were winter. We could make it into ice blocks and skate on it, and then melt it in the springtime and drink it.
Myth number 5. Alcohol warms you up in cold weather. Nothing warms the bones like a sneaky swig of rot gut from your trusty flask. Except no, it's true that you definitely feel warmer, but actually being warmer is a lie. A damn dirty lie.
You know, alcohol doesn't really make you warmer. In fact, it constricts the blood vessels, causing—
Shut up. A snort of the good stuff actually makes your blood vessels dilate, not contract like some smart-ass baby would tell you. This means blood will flow closer to your skin, making it feel warmer. However, what's actually happening is your skin is robbing heat from your vital organs. You know, things like your liver, and because the cold is effectively a vacuum, your heat is lost to the chill around you, leaving you to feel colder than when you actually started. Add in your liquid courage, impaired decision-making skills, and lack of shivering, and you and your buzz are heading towards hypothermia. Myth number 4. Wine competitions award the best wines.
Carter, did you tell your son-in-law he's not supposed to swallow the wine?
Hey, where the hell is that Peter Griffin? He said he'd give me $100 if I took off all my clothes off.
If a bottle of vino has a gold medal, it must be better than the unranked swill beside it, right? Not necessarily. Taste is, unsurprisingly, a subjective matter, so it's only natural that at the end of the day, the same would be true for rankings. In fact, studies, including one published by the Journal of Wine Economics in 2008, have concluded that judges in wine contests were consistent with their judgments only 10% of the time.
Medium plus body. It's mostly pumpkin. There's so much pumpkin, it's like a Charlie Brown Halloween special.
A winning wine in one competition may be completely ignored in the next.
I don't drink alcohol from that portion of the color spectrum.
The typical judge could easily score the same wine as acceptable in one tasting and as excellent a few minutes later.
We will take 4 bottles, please and thank you.
The International Wine Challenge awards literally thousands of medals each year, with over 3,400 wines earning bronze status alone in 2015. Be especially leery of commended wines, as given the unlikelihood of any wine entering the IWC failing, commended is basically shorthand for non-toxic.
This comes from your mother's butt.
Myth number 3. Beer before liquor? Never been sicker. Liquor before beer? You're in the clear.
Liquor before beer? You like Pam Grier.
You have no idea what you're talking about, do you?
Nope.
This is sometimes known as beer before wine, you'll be fine. All in all, booze is booze as far as your body is concerned. Regardless if you've had a bottle of Sam or a shot of gin, your liver still needs an hour to process and break down the alcohol you just dumped into it. And excessive amounts of either are just going to dehydrate you. Where this myth almost has a grain of truth is in the way that people drink different types of beverages. In general, mixed drinks and shots tend to be slammed back, while drinkers tend to nurse a beer. Speed drinking some Jack means you're already pretty loaded when that chalice of Stella enters the picture, whereas putting away a polite pair of Millers and then throwing back a 5th of Johnny Red Label is like jumping into warp drive from standstill. Wow, calling booze by its first name really makes me sound like an alcoholic.
And that, as much as anything else, led to my drinking problem.
Myth number 2. Beer gives you a beer gut.
Anyway, it's inevitable.
Not roly-poly, not dumpy. A beer gut is a particular sort of protuberance. There are lots of reasonable sounding explanations as to how beer makes one's abdomen so bulbous. Some say it's because beer drinkers also eat a lot of fatty foods, or drink more alcohol than a typical wine drinker, thereby consuming more calories. Alcoholism can cause conditions resulting in abdominal distension, but that's in extreme cases. But studies on the subject of the beer gut, and there have been a few, have failed to consistently draw strong correlations between drinking beer and having a high proportion of abdominal fat. So all those well-intentioned, sometimes plausible theories are moot.
I've been looking for a big fatso to shoot with a cannon. I'd like very much for you to be that fatso.
Myth number 1. Old wines are good wines.
This is a 59 Latour from my private collection.
In order to do the trick.
If we've learned anything from the movies, it's that a bottle of 1873 Chateau de Pamplemousse is the height of sophistication.
Hit me again.
Bring the Candle Jackson. Cork the 59.
In actuality, it's probably just expensive vinegar. Less than 1% of wines are intended to mature. The rest are meant to be enjoyed now, or at least within 5 years. A quality wine will likely remain so, but a cheap wine, perhaps a commended wine, will only get worse. Hang on to that $500 bottle of Bordeaux for your 60th wedding anniversary if you like, But there's no point in keeping a $5 bottle of arsenic and cochineal and expecting a glass of heaven when it hits vintage. Furthermore, any wine can go nasty if not stored properly. Keep your wine, even the stuff you stole from your cousin's wedding, out of the sunlight and store it on its side.
More wine, less talking.
So how many of these myths did you believe? Do you have an alcohol myth you want to bust?
Hair of the dog that bit me.
Here's what Google searches are asking about alcohol.
Does alcohol actually kill brain cells?
Will alcohol help anxiety? Does alcohol cause acne?
For more vintage top 10s and commended top 5s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Words of wisdom, Lloyd. Words of wisdom.